Bruce Lee was a real-life Superman with super speed, strength, and intellect. He kicked everybody's ass. He exhibited his martial arts skills on the big screen, but also wrote and directed as well. He was an international star and had ambitions of making lots of movies, but came to an untimely death in 1973. Though his film career was short, the impact he made is immeasurable and launched the martial arts genre into the mainstream. When something's successful, the mentality's always been to copy it, do it again. So many others tried to emulate Bruce Lee to comedic effects. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about Bruce Lee's last film and the shameless imitators that followed. In 1972, Bruce Lee began filming The Game of Death, which he was acting, writing, directing, and producing. He got as far as filming a few fight scenes, but then put the project on halt when he got the offer to star in Enter the Dragon, the film that made him famous worldwide. After that, he went back to finish The Game of Death, but it never came to be because of his tragic and mysterious death, in which the causes have been debated over the decades. Robert Clouse, the director of Enter the Dragon, attempted to finish Game of Death using a new cast and storyline built around Lee's existing footage. Released in 1978, the result was a disaster. In the new plot, Bruce Lee's character is a martial arts actor named Billy Lowe. It opens with recycled footage from Way of the Dragon, where Bruce Lee beats the shit out of Chuck Norris. However, this time, it's the set of a movie. Now, Bruce Lee's played by another actor, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, they're just not going to show his face. Then, the unthinkable happens.
So you got in here, finally.
They superimposed a towel over stock footage of Bruce Lee, with new dialogue being dubbed over. Then we're back to the fake Bruce Lee. Then his reflection in the mirror looks like he's wearing makeup. Next thing, it's another stock close-up of the real Bruce. The film grain nor the background match. But what am I complaining for? Nothing tops this next one. Look at that. They had to be joking. From what I've heard, it's actually a cardboard cutout. Shortly after, they show the real clip that it was taken from. Now watch this. I swear I didn't fuck with it. This is an actual edit from the movie. They cut from the real Bruce to the fake Bruce. And that's the part that doesn't make any sense. Why do they show both actors' faces? The rest of the movie, he goes around wearing black shades. Well, that's better than the cardboard cutout. Bruce Lee's not the only actor to have a double. Kareem Abul-Jabar, who fought Bruce Lee in the original footage, refused to be in the reshoots, so they had to get another actor who looks nothing like him. The plot is a convoluted mess. It's about some kind of syndicate that wants Billy to join them. He refuses, so they try to kill him on the set of his next movie. We see stock footage from Fist of Fury and some really clumsy editing. So Billy gets shot in the face and somehow survives. He pretends to be dead, and as part of the gag, they show real footage from Bruce Lee's funeral. And there he is, acting in death. Wouldn't he be proud? It's a fucking disgrace. The last half hour is when the movie gets good. It becomes pure action and nothing else. Now, storyline doesn't matter much. There's enough stunt work, explosions, and people flying into boxes to keep you entertained. The next scene cuts straight to the Bruce Lee fight scenes, and from now on, it's the real deal. The motorcycle scene was invented to explain why he's wearing that yellow tracksuit. I don't know why he wore it in the first place, but it became a cult phenomenon. Video games and movies pay homage to it all the time, probably the most famous being Uma Thurman's character in Kill Bill. In this final sequence, Bruce ascends a series of staircases, and on each floor there's a different guy waiting to fight him. It's like the video game Kung Fu, where you keep going upstairs and fight a new boss on each level. These may be the best of Bruce's one-on-one fights, and they all happen one after another. He also makes some of his most hilarious facial expressions. This movie's an unfocused collage of different scenes constantly jumping forth between recycled clips of the real Bruce and the double, as if undecided whether they should trick the audience or just let it be. Had the storyline been great, it wouldn't matter as much. It is worth watching, but only for the final action scenes. The question is, how would Bruce Lee feel about this completed version of Game of Death? It's just a shame he was never able to finish it the way he intended. Several other filmmakers attempted to complete Game of Death throughout the 70s and early 80s, but the Robert Klaus version is the most famous, and it's the one included in the DVD box set. The box set which also includes Game of Death 2. I can understand finishing a film that Bruce started, but this one he had nothing to do with. They used the same gimmick of having another actor play Bruce and reuse close-ups from his earlier films. In one scene, he conveniently breaks a light to darken the room as if trying to hide his face. They also take advantage of a deleted scene from Enter the Dragon. By changing the dialogue, they make it appear as if the scene belongs in this movie. However, the DVD of Enter the Dragon puts the scene back in, so now it's in both movies. Halfway through, the character dies. Once again, we see footage from Bruce Lee's funeral, except this time his character really is dead. I guess we can say this is where the career of the fake Bruce Lee comes to an end. The rest of the movie is about his brother trying to avenge his death. He goes to a castle where he meets a guy who eats raw deer meat and drinks blood.
Deer's blood.
He tells him about the Tower of Death, a tower that's built down into the ground. So, not a tower, a basement? Then he fights a kung fu lion, a cheap-ass costume, and smashes it in the face with a chair. He goes into this tower or basement or whatever and fights a bunch of guys in silver jumpsuits. It's like a scene out of a science fiction movie with pools of acid and sliding doors. He fights Fred Flintstone, kicks through a giant crate, then has to navigate through a hallway without touching the floor because the floor explodes. It's just like a video game. The final boss is sitting in a throne in front of a giant map of the world. The fight goes on forever, and the choreography is amazing. This movie blows my mind. It's profoundly entertaining, and to be honest, I enjoy it much more than the first Game of Death. It's 90% action on overdrive. If it has any dull moments, it's just enough to keep your head from exploding. It should have stood as its own film, but instead they gave it the double baggage of claiming to star Bruce Lee and claiming to be a sequel to Game of Death. It has nothing to do with Game of Death. In fact, it was the English dub which changed the character's name to Billy Lowe. Otherwise, it has no connection. In fact, it has an alternate title, Tower of Death. Why can't we just call it that? Aside from the Game of Death movies, there was a huge explosion of films trying to capitalize on Bruce Lee's name. It became a whole genre of its own, known as Bruceploitation. You gotta love the names of these impersonators. There is Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lie, and Bruce Lying. Often these movies were very self-aware and comedic. How could you take a movie seriously called Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave? The craziest of all was The Dragon Lives Again, which also includes a Clint Eastwood impersonator, James Bond, The Godfather, The Exorcist, Popeye, Dracula, skeletons, and plenty of mummies. I think I'll end with that.
I'm gonna boot you in the ass. You're gonna get yours, punk.
Cut out the bullshit.